I flew back in the spring a couple years ago to do our first sort of shot at recording a couple of these songs. And then the floodgates kind of opened, both from an inspiration point of view and everybody coming with some really great songs. And so the following spring, so this past spring, I flew back again to Dayton, and we recorded essentially the rest of the album. I know Matt did a lot of the work, and others on their own or at other recording sessions that I couldn't get to. Obviously we came out with enough songs for a full album. And I think we were just so excited by the songs. Obviously getting together as friends is the best part, and spending time together and creating music. But it really, the songs just took on a great life.
Recorded years and years and years ago several projects, and we have a lot of history of and all of the growing pains that go through that we've navigated. You know, we're all adults now. We're all, I mean, practically old men. The cool thing about that is all of the ugly growing pains that you go through as a young player and a young musician. You're trying to gel with these guys, and that can be so difficult, and we all felt that. There was tension. That's all gone now, and now we're all just, we love each other dearly, and we're such close friends, and we do this, we create this art, and afterwards you just have this amazing, satisfying feeling that you were able to do something with lifelong buddies that will literally last forever. Whether anybody listens to it or not, that can't ever be taken away. And this project was cool because I feel like we found our groove.
You know, I knew that Matt and Dan had already talked, and Dan had a few ideas. I think he had sent some basic structure of a few tunes over to Matt, and then Dan was going to come into Ohio from Los Angeles, I believe in April, and so we had decided that would be our first kind of band session to get together, kind of hash through some ideas. That's my memory of it. And of course, you know, when I heard this, I got excited. We hadn't really worked on anything since Dark Optimism, which, you know, we worked on in 2019 and released in 2020.
When I take a bath, I like to lather up the suds.
That threw me off. When I took a bath, Eric just does a little infomercial right in the middle of it.
Well, that's what it's gonna kind of be.
I like to bring an animal in.
This just felt like a perfect moment for us to be able to kind of build off of that momentum and kind of go in a new direction, I think. So everyone kind of started working on songs. I think Matt had a handful of tunes. I worked on a few things. I think I had like 4 or 5 songs, basic demos that I submitted for everyone to listen to. And then eventually Brett came in and he had, you know, 4 or 5 tunes that he submitted. So it didn't take long, not that it ever does.
You don't have melody? Okay.
Just in the middle part.
Well, I think the Dan, Eric, Brett, and myself as the songwriters. John is a musical arranger, which is, he writes from that point of view. But as like writing as a tune, we all have different voices. Dan is very riff friendly. He definitely hears hooks in riffs extremely well, and that's what he presents a lot of the time. Eric is a big picture songwriter. He kind of writes pieces, but his material comes with a vocal melody and usually some lyrical ideas at the least, or full-on lyrical structure. I write in sort of a very traditional kind of Beatlesy kind of a way, on guitar, and I come up with verses and choruses and all that stuff.
You've got to conserve your
And then Brett writes, he has a very diverse palette. He writes, he spent a lot of time in the dance, the club kind of house and club scene with a reasonable amount of success doing that. Going back to in Nude Canoe in the old days, he's in a rock band, and then he ends up being the band leader in the Organic Groove Continuum, backing a hip hop act in Dayton, and it was very much a kind of a free form thing, but he would present the themes of the music. His musical taste is very diverse, and you hear that sort of diverse influence in the material that he writes.
Right. Oh, you're not doing that.
Oh, I'm not doing that.
No, he's not fucking doing that.
I'm not doing that.
No fucking way.
Hello? Anybody there?
That was kind of like the beginning of it. I knew the guys had ideas, and I wanted to. I was really happy. Like the last record that we did was like when I did the song Saturn is the Sun, was like kind of the first time I ever like contributed music on a song with Nude Canoe, the band, and that was like really gave me made me feel really good about things, and it gave me probably overconfidence because I've still got songs I want to give the band, and it's enough, I got plenty, but it's like so I wrote these songs and going into that too, and it just seemed like we're going to take on a lot of stuff, but that's okay. But we just wanted to make this a better record, ourselves, and that's kind of was like the start of it right there for us. So what I did, because the first studio session, I showed up with like an MPC and just 5 keyboards and yada yada yada, and pedals and wires everywhere. It was a mess, and and I hit one button and everything just like played the songs that I was like, here you go guys, so we had individual instruments and everything, and we went from there. Matt multi-tracked it, and he's been mixing the album and producing it.
But I know that first session in April was special. It was great to be with everyone all together again. We were over at John's studio, which was just a wonderful environment for us to be in. Really fostered fun and creativity. And these are my brothers. I mean, we've been friends, most of us, since the early days of our lives. Meeting in kindergarten, first grade, and being friends, our entire lives, and to be at this stage of our lives and still be creating and making music together is definitely a blessing. And I think it's evident in the sound of this album, kind of how blessed we all feel to be doing this, and that magic, I think, comes out in the songs.
I will say the true, everybody played great on this, and everybody really did a great job. This is the best album by far we've ever done. But Matt's production and mixing of this was really a work of art, and I don't know that he's going to get enough credit for this, but just brilliant job of doing that. And I know we worked super hard to get this done. So I'm very excited for this album.
So the end result is this album called Cycles, and there are very distinctly different sounds from it because we literally have 4 different people writing music, and those people have different influences, although some of them they share in common. There are some that are different.
Well, Cycles is an apt title for cycles of life, like the lyric of Cycles is a pretty strong indicator of the theme, I think, of the album. The inevitable concern, cycles of life, to hold too tightly to what's happening now, to manufacture the past, trapped in the looking glass. You know, I think if there's a theme, it's to be alive in the moment that you're in, and to navigate through the trials and tribulations of being in relationship with other human beings having their own cycle of life.
Influences and inspirations that we bring together as a group has always led to interesting art in many ways. So I'm thrilled with this new album.
You just formulate this thing, and you hone whatever you can out of the skill set that you have to make that music the best that you can make it with your part. And Cycles is such a great example of this group of guys putting our heads together and coming up with something truly original and truly unique, and something that I love listening to. And I'm proud to say that, and I'm proud to have played these tracks and crafted this. It's become a huge part of my life.